Hello everyone, my name is Ishan Datta and I'm really excited to have you all for the launch of Zero to Lightning. Now, this has been one of the most awaited projects for me personally because this had a very good learning experience for me. Now, what is Zero to Lightning? Zero to Lightning has over 25 plus independently executable scripts which have been bifurcated into basic, intermediate, and advanced. It uses and implements most of the functionality which is available in PyTorch Lightning. So what it essentially means is that if you want to learn how to use PyTorch Lightning, which is one of the most widely used deep learning frameworks and training frameworks in the world, so you can come to this repository and you can have a very step-by-step level-wise increment and learn through all the functions and classes that are possible through Lightning AI. The second approach is that if you already know Lightning and you have been using it in your projects, then you might be referring to the documentation a number of times. But what happens is that if you're working with a large code base, then using functions or parameters from that and integrating it in your code and testing it out takes a lot more time. So if you want to play around those parameters and functions before integrating it into your code, then you can come to this repository. So let's say you want the default progress bar for Lightning is TQDM. You want to try out how does rich progress bar look like. So you can just come to this repo, execute that particular script. Now mind it, every script that has been within this repository runs under a minute on a CPU. Okay, yes. So I have designed every model and all in such a way that even with the lowest specifications of hardware, that should not be a barrier for you. You can complete this entire repository in less than a day. Okay, if you have some background of deep learning and training models, then you can definitely complete it within a day. So let's just directly jump into it and see what all have I included. There are two ways to run this project. The first one is basically you come to this repository Zero to Lightning, and you can see that these are the particular different kinds of levels which I have included. These are basic, intermediate, and advanced. Some levels have one script, some levels have even 3 to 4 scripts. Then we have a couple of features, and just to get started, you can just clone the repo, go to the Zero to Lightning folder, create the Conda environment. It's a very small environment, and yes, that's it. Every script can just be run. You can just call it with Python and it will run. You don't need to pass any additional parameters or anything of that sort. In one of the scripts, I am using the Lightning CLI. For that, these are the steps which have been mentioned. This is also very easy. You don't need any different kind of setup particular for this. Now in this demo, I will be showing it to you using Lightning Studios. This makes my life even easier. So this is the particular studio. To duplicate it, you can just click on open in studio. I have it already open. Okay, so after duplication, this is what the studio should look like. In the first time, you might need to download the datasets. There are two datasets. There's MNIST and Cypher10. And this is the Zero to Lightning. If you want to execute scripts, then you can either do this from this root directory, or you can also cd to Zero to Lightning. Both works. It's not really path dependent. Let's say I am in the basic one, right? So there are a couple of things like Lightning module, checkpointing and all. Let's see in the intermediate one, you have some accelerated hardware. How do you modularize the code? So they start something very simple. Okay. So it starts really simple, a very simple classifier. Okay, you can see I've kept it as minimal as possible. And in every script, whatever concept that I'm talking about, I have added that into comments, as well as the documentation, official documentation link is present at the beginning of every script so that you can get a deeper understanding of it. So this is a very simple trainer. Now, what I have actually done is, so I have created a very simple trainer, and then I have extended the functionality of this trainer. So like you can see that there is only training step here. There is no validation or testing step that comes later. There is no checkpointing. There are no callbacks in this one. This is just a very kind of a baseline kind of architecture and training sample, which you can keep on modifying. That has already happened, right? Then you can learn about how to use GPUs, how to use TPUs, how to modularize code. So what does modularizing mean? So for example, if you see, I've just called the dataset here directly, right? Or let's say just take, if you want to load a pre-trained model, that's also here. So you can see all these things have been done manually, and there's not really any particular function for that. So if you want to improve upon that, then you can modularize your code, add some data modules and all. So here I have introduced the concept of Lightning data module. So this is your classifier and this is the data module. Okay, right. Next, what all you have is that let's look into some advanced functionality. let's say you want to modify your trainer. So I was talking about changing your progress bar, right? So Lightning by default has the TQDM progress bar. So what if I want to use a rich progress bar? So you can see that till the advanced section, there have been a lot of things which have been added to this classifier. Okay, so you have a lot of different steps and all that have been added. The trainer class has also a bunch of things which have been added, and different scripts have different functionalities. So for example, here I have added the rich progress bar. Okay, now if I want to execute this script, I can just copy the path for this. I can just run Python, name of the script. So you can see that I have selected a description and a progress bar color. So you can see you get a colored progress bar. Okay, so let's say you want to integrate this in your code. You can just try it out a bunch of different colors and different settings on this, and then you can just take those settings and put it in your code instead of trying it out in your code directly. Now let's say you want to learn more about how to, if you see in these training steps and all, you don't really know what is exactly going behind, right? Can you do that manually? Yes, you can do that. So you can enable, this is called as enabling manual optimization and in PyTorch Lightning. This is a bunch of simple steps. So in a lot of these scripts, I've added clearly the steps that you need to understand that particular script. So for example, here I have disabled the manual optimization, and you can see that whatever training step and all is there that I have written manually. I have given 2 more examples over there, how you can manually add gradient accumulation, how you can manually add gradient clipping. These are also available as different callbacks which you can use directly. Okay. Now let me show you something very interesting. A lot of times when people actually start building their project, either they are like pro config file users, or they just don't like the idea of creating config files at the beginning and they hardcode everything. And after that, it becomes very difficult for them to create config files. So Lightning has a very cool way for that. So you can directly create config files using the Lightning CLI and then modify that config file. For example, so let's say I have this very simple module over here. I defined the Lightning CLI. So earlier we were defining Lightning trainers. In this, we define everything within the CLI, and you can see the arguments which I had passed to the trainer have become the trainer defaults, right? So there are 3 steps to run this particular script. Now, again, as I mentioned before, all the other scripts that are there can be directly run just using the command Python and the path to that script. In this particular case, since we are using the CLI, so the syntax is a little different. So let's say I want to run this. So what this is particularly doing, let me just write it over here. Right. So what am I actually doing here is that I'm calling the fit function, and I'm printing the config and saving it to a config.yaml file. So if you see the project directory, there is no config over here currently. Once I execute this command, the config is automatically created. Okay, you can see all the default configs that were there and the ones which I set in the Lightning CLI have come over here. Now, if I want to run a training on top of it and use this particular config file, so what I can do is, okay, so I will remove this print config and I will pass the config parameter. The path remains the same. So you will see that the training starts in a couple of seconds. And that's it. In the default, we have set the max epochs to 1. Let's say I want to modify this. I can just modify it to 2, run this exact command again. The first epoch is running. Hopefully we have a second one as well. Yeah, we do. So you see how easy it was to just add configs to your project. Okay, now you can learn it from here and then again pick it to your project. So these are the 2 ways in which I want you all to approach Zero to Lightning. First, if you are very new to Lightning, just come to this particular Lightning Studio or GitHub repository. Start from the very basics. Okay, that is the basic level. Go to the Lightning module, learn about Lightning modules and follow through this path. Okay, then go to intermediate and then go to advanced. A second way is that you can just pick up this particular script. Okay, you can try to go through the documentations of Lightning and try to integrate those in this script and then compare it with the ones which I have given. The second way is if you are already familiar with Lightning and you just want to refer to documentations and all, you can go through a documentation. If you want to try that particular function, some parameters, then you can come directly here Okay, you can just go to the readme c where you can find that particular file or script, and then try it out and then use it in your project. And that's it from my side. I hope you all liked it, and I really want to see more and more users get into Lightning AI. It makes your life really, really easy. Thanks a lot. Let me know what is your feedback, and do star the GitHub repo. Thank you.